You know this.
Yeah.
And I don't, I think it could be efficient, but it just wasn't. Not with no people. And we did crash a couple cars, and that came to turning point because Jack. I mean, I do like Jack, but working for there was tough, and it got to the point. I forget where we were at in the points, and he said, "I'm going to start charging you if you wreck another car." And I did. I told him, I said, Jack, I've wrecked more race cars running for this team, and I have my entire career. I don't think it's all me. I said, I'll take some blame, but it ain't all me. And I said, so I got a little offended him saying I had to pay for the wrecked cars. I told him that if you don't, I says, don't pay me the rest of the year. And if you don't get me in the top 12 in points, I said, find another driver.
Yeah.
And that's where it ended. I mean, I made it through the year, but it was over at that point in time.
Man.
And that was at Charlotte because we were testing there. Mark was there, and there's no worse feeling to have Mark Martin jump in your car and go run, right? He's going to run 2-3 tenths faster, no matter who it is. It could be in Gordon's car or whoever. Well, he did. He went out there and he ran about 2 tenths faster at Charlotte. And he come in there and says, man, this is one of the best cars I've ever driven. And I says, great. I says, I will trade you. You could have that car. I want your car. Because he was 3/4 of a second slower than he was in his car.
Yeah.
And he just got done saying that's the best car I've ever driven.
Yeah.
And I says, well, we're trading right now. I says, and then he got a little confused with that until he looked at the times, and he just walked away, didn't say a word. He's like, oh, that's not good. Because it drove good, just went fast.
Yeah.
And that was the start of they fired the crew chief, and I don't think that was the right thing to do. And it just was a